Mariola hino bali anala bambang ka wikiti ka bambang ka trauma badinglu anal badim malon Mr. Tenkobo aka I'm the only romantic man in my village, the biggest village in the Gambia. Please search or Google. Ladies and gentlemen, hankabi ngaje ko mamam babe kering ni wating kono hankabi akobe diam gang gambe bangkung gang han say amamban diam la wala kada mundi na hedla don men dolon dindul milan nako ifote e niolu la atada kanyam folo men di ko din taworo ani woro braji na da push demanding e ko din taworo la braji na da push demanding e ko say ko din tan say sainteng hedla na lori wala kan sainteng e ko mo tada mo tan say bilano be fode nyola mil kalam data follow. So therefore meli marta o fandar la ka boro ni nar na kacha dum fana dafa je andu ngaje fana ko moy video bo mi an ko am mo fewndi mba mo daraja dimba mo farmasari mba ka mi Ahmad Jide ni Ahmad Jide anata video bo ni baki bur jadi nga dum kacha ko no follow ngana kacha ni boro la fandar la ana dabite men ke bangungang ani bangung fana e bangungang don kan ngana bangung bantala ay men ke bangungang ka ni boro amanta dawdan na gembe bangungang karo ma moy ko don abe dinkira karo na gembe bangungang oto Ahmad Jide le taroki nando ka kumada bake anime kata inga muntole wala kata MSD so nsafa credit for MS inshallah saying Amadou Jide inshallah mo nga video la me bake after ngana mulay nang ngaden nang kachala ala baraka bake. Stay tuned. If you are new member in this platform, do all your effort and subscribe in this channel. Don't forget, it's your boy Tenkobo aka I'm the only romantic man in my village, the biggest village in the Gambia. Please search or Google. Please stay tuned.
I mean, first and foremost, let me extend our sincere and heartfelt condolences to all those that lost loved ones, and those that perhaps are on the way, because as you have said, we had 66 as of day before. And now, I mean, yesterday, the Minister of Health said 3 more people died. And I'm sure there are other children that are currently being admitted with similar conditions at RVTH. So it's a devastating occurrence. It's regrettable, but it's also avoidable. Well, the problem, I mean, we've heard from the start was information to the public was a little bit not forthcoming. I know there was a press release that was made when the ministry said it detected a trend that they felt was responsible and could be as a result of a paracetamol that was being administered to these children. They made, an announcement that people stop it, and it went quiet for a bit. But then yesterday they came out, they said there was an investigation, which was why that happened. And WHO made an announcement. They've made, a press conference telling the world about what's happening. I don't know why WHO had to first give a warning publicly before the Gambia. I don't know. I mean, we still are on, going, and we don't know what's happening. But generally, this is very sad. And the message that came, especially from the president, the writers of the speech, made some very big mistakes. The statement was written in a way that actually, as you've seen, made people a lot more angry than, before the statement was made. And I've had a few things with the statement that was made. But then, as they would have realized, the government came out again, this time with press release, to tell the country about a more stringent and a stricter measures that were being taken, and the health minister came to explain further and to apologize for some of the messages that were put into the statement that the president read. the previous day. It's sad. It's very sad. It's not supposed to happen. Someone, in my view, should be, held accountable, and people should be punished for this kind of greed, this kind of irresponsibility, this kind of behavior that is putting the lives of our children, our future generations to terrible destruction. So I think it's very sad. By the way, my own niece, 1 year, I think 1 year, 3 months, I mean, was also a victim. My senior brother, the same mom and dad, lost a daughter to it. And it's sad. It's a very sad situation for all of us.
My condolences to you and your family. Sorry for that. So you did mention something about speech writers, and that brings me to this next video on. I have an excerpt on what the president said here. Let me play that real quick.
Yeah.
The Gambia. I must state that the child mortality figure of 66 is not at much variance with the recorded data for similar periods in the past. This notwithstanding, my government remains deeply concerned about every death in the country, as well as all causes of premature deaths.
All right, so he did mention the variance, and when you mentioned, my understanding of English, so you did mention something about speech writers, and that
figure
to understand those that are involved be banned, and I would have asked or instructed the police to immediately ask or invite these people for questioning. These are things I'm going to do. I personally, I would fire my health minister. No matter how great he is, no matter how good he is, there is what we call an oversight responsibility in a corporate world, in a governance world. I mean, if there is 100% or at least 80% efficiency, something as terrible as this wouldn't have happened. Ministers have oversight responsibility in your ministry, just like the president, directors, and Carlos have oversight responsibilities. You cannot have people bring in drugs and those drugs be in the country for such a long time and not be detected. Hundreds of thousands of tons, if not thousands of tons, perhaps thousands of tons of this particular drug is in the country. It's distributed all over. Oversight responsibility demands that at least you know what is going on. You have to. If you don't know what is going on in your institution, if you don't know what is going on in your ministry, you have an inefficiency. There's a problem with your efficiency in terms of oversight responsibility. So politically, the president would have gained a lot if he fired his minister. A lot of people are not happy. There has been a lot of dissatisfaction with it, but firing them, the announced state of mourning, 3 days mourning for these angels, and talk about compensation. Families are going to be compensated. We cannot compromise, and that's it. It's going to be everybody. Oh my God, he has done it. He has done. Look, it doesn't have to be the FACO, Kari Atea Fengela. But the mistakes that happened was that the statement that was delivered first, of course, condolences was given. People that are responsible, health workers, the health ministry was commended in that statement for doing an amazing job. The health ministry, health officials are commended in that statement. Now that is contradictory because that is where the problem is. It doesn't matter whether the minister does it or not, somebody in that health sector is responsible. Somebody in that health sector, whether it's a nurse, whether it's a pharmacist, whether it's a director, whether it's an accountant, somebody in the health sector is responsible. If you commend that institution, there is a problem with that statement. And I think Gambians reacted in the right way, and I'm glad they understood. Again, in a situation like this, you are in the US. Omar, don't do that. We have several shootings in the US. Look at the patterns of speeches. Politicians are always blamed for what happened. Never would you hear a political leader in the US make a comparative analysis in the face of a disaster. You don't do it. There may be a shooting where 11 people became victims, but there was a shooting authority to fire people that he has appointed. There are Gambians willing to work with him. Nimol mando koke bay. Adum ya stop wato do. Ikela moy mola dama fundi ye first hand information so ni on the Gambian will be mislead la. Wato do in the ministry Canada minister for the minister I mean for that matter knows me along come lowest class in the hospital try to have telephone conversations with them. Nima oke Gambia no mbetembo mindoteng. Gambia is a very complex society. It's a very, very bad society as well. More bail corrupter. It's terrible. The most corrupt person will pretend to be the best individual in the world. It only be how corruption is dangerous, corruption is terrible. They are the most corrupt people in the world. We are all culpable of that. But again, the other problem is dunia be kolari mansa kundal tote diaring dunia. Just observe the midterm election in the US. The Democrats might have a serious problem because dunia lomot Canada we already have a minority government. Trudeau has minority government. A lot of governments will lose elections because dunia be kolari and people don't care. Dunia kolada. You must prefer a solution. That is what people do. Find a solution. Give us a solution. That is what people care about. So Neiman Law at that time and be proactive with talking to people. You have a problem. Ya jame barono wola back. Wati Abebanju Loptano, for example. He has visited that place. Nteni ya medama. Kabo State House, Kadao Loptano. Nga remember sinya taninkili. I remember that. Albert State House, 5 o'clock sita ajita, ala kurtu jangdung, ala military budung, ala kodo fenge, akoye ngafind. Sometimes PPO, the principal protection officer, moleka ninimboro la alkata ikata kinyola le ya radio call ke ko Sera Bravo. All stations Sera Bravo. More be dunyor. Military alone coming. I tell of Tanoto. akataje afama ta dum ay dulal jibe ay masimol jibe ay ta stol kono ay ta larangol kono sometimes ay ta military campoto ay ta nafreda soldier la campoto ay duila bun kono one of the reasons wala tina lantom bombay I'll give an example. Lundole mbijere ka fundida. I was a reporter at State House. Ya jamme wultare ka fundida. Moma ala karadame. Moto borre ko akoy ko instruction odi Yundum Barracks. Lantombo was chief of staff. Lantombo is listening. Ndebe moto kono mfanabe convoy kono because I was attached at State House. Alkataje. This was a weekend. Fat atana Lantombo airport. He was traveling for a conference. Janna be tala ya jamme tada Yundum Barracks. Sojarol kena bunga min kono. Imala fa tada me wotede. Kafoko protocol ilafta dunda me woltom. Afama be nyato. Adunda sojarol la bunga kono kay ponsol jibe. Akoy Lantombo kumanda be dawda. Lantombo had to come. Alatamo bayaka look at what is it? Wala abandon kam television. I was the reporter. I'm sure those things are online. So atada itandala, how could these people, how could these people sleep in these beds? Sometimes at Gambia College, there are people there. So Barrow has the biggest problem because it is a democracy and the price against crime is not as high as under a dictatorship. Yaya Jammeh can pick you and send you to jail for 10 years. Nobody dare speak. Barrow cannot do that. But you have to be a lot more, proactive. Sometimes suitable fundieta rope tanodo, taiji beroke. Sometimes doctoral beta from the State House. Go to any pharmacy. Tai pharmacy mol jibe. Sometimes he tired droko sang baro fango fundi ta karaba pharmacy droko sai fango ya foko ya sai fango le ni ya sai pareda afoila doctor of member State House. Let's send this to WHO. Na jibe whether this drug actually minister does not have to know. Do it. Ni one thing ibe fala at me bade. That is what Gambians will do. And I think Barrow is very comfortable with the people he has appointed. He is very comfortable with people that are giving him information. And that will cause him disastrously. That I can say with all honesty.
Good. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin ci alasan ko dake jama fe mbabbe nyaay video jere alhamdulillah Amad Jide follow akadanya surprise bat le nga Amad Jide mel lon kunu ani nga Amad Jide men ji sainteng akadanya kom ko yemote ina ta da kunge so therefore akadanya kawa ku bati de sabra kana nga gambeno le ko alalu hakilo to nyum banku man la banku lati nimme ku be ku ko jang lumina si le si lefta da do gele ka ngaba i kunjimi to si je nyini ya ngoma isi dan men bori wala si buloki da be dan men ma afelente sayinde ni bodu lato haymala ibe kumla jimi da pour taje ni me Amad Jide kunum maje ina bi maje ikamane momenta ya te na hadda kunge muna kin nanga fo karunka ida bonna ko moto o muto nyaade bare to bonna ko moto imosi muso ngala mo ro ko jam bakele atale bi je bi mbata da fala ajo mo jamalu ni fan dal ci dam bi fan dal fala Amad Jide ay miliki jam ko mon ton bi nga ne ala political time nisan Amad Jide be nyamin anim biya be nyamin ak kuma nyamin afaram fansi da bakele alhamdulillah woto ala talla ya ci ni to kan ke nyaati ni to nyawdo alma isa da kala ngi kila har moto alma tan na yimfanna ak mata bakele yaje kanyo has kanyo kuma ba kanyo nani na fatala hamadum alkabur londolla ni moy kuma jaw foy iti ajabi londola wala kuma ta amon gede bulamola bari bi Amad Jide be ko nyaawi na tax kuma tan kabin nunto abi bitala baake bari bi say han me yaji han tan me an ko hakiltin della mbal nako Amad Jide man nin ko totobu ka funti ya to dun tilo ko 15 wala kenema 15 abe fenna bayka wala fenna babayka so maybe nyaade be nyinna kula kindang wala kindang ibe nyin ko mosi faalol be fola por namede say mbalo nal ko ibe munto de hedek kan wala ibe munto de haymakam so mbalo nal because ndel bankun kan over our dead body kaje kom ko atal medical wal kanyin ku nyaw nit ku ci falke place to na la ngi jang nte kabe bi dam tal support la kan sam sinding momoni be gambe place bo le be kala moti man ko alhamdulillah la man ko be kala 100% bari yekku jawni ku madran ko ki jang e ko bina nguro ko place lo mara gambe bak over our dead body o de kala yimbangu ngan jang nyaake fanan ita karo gela wato mbene wa suto nintilo frigole ngome fa tafiye akay ci trako bay no wax rewe mun ton trako thank you. So anyway nimbo don ko dak mo fla nyaado so wala bu ato dum boru la fandado Dr. Samate luwo do men de kono la Adam Barrow ni kebe la ndo ku dal fille bulu ifam bulu kono do kolom bi ni ko kun nim be kada bi be ke bulu li mansalla ni nyanda kede tiara si yanda kede Adam Barrow karan balti tiara si di be how many years ni mom ni ka kaf oga momonti oga ni ko oga en safal ko ni ko oga ka juma da fo ko oda ka wona santole ha juma na moto o do ya jamme dindi ya jamme keba ya jamme musu ya jamme momodi ya jamme lumina si la mobi fana mabro fala Adam Barrow isi yilla ngin dum kam ñin membe siri bala jang ibesna si gambe banku nganjang ikilin si koyta si banta ikilin si koyta si banta andu ko kunning albek ganyi mansa kunda koro nan ma hakula kurum akende kuruma bibiti dankuna de Adam Barrow kende ba bibiti dankuna do kula dama ninyin kusi fa be kiranga nyol ila da kayto fansa be mi an ko nyin kayta furimba kasi ka kadi de fanne kana los dunya be nyati nula e kana la banko e adresse wala ite malam kuma ne boko no milan ko wul man fokun kuma boko mal man safe kun kana la ko di la banko di wala il faut ne ka ba ka fu take fo nyim parliament kada nyaadi da islam fa kada aliro la bang fa kada mala Adam Barrow is a businessman and being a business or only iko business la yadi ko customers are always right oto Adam Barrow nyim banko mu ngeen naka jakal ba because business la be mathematician ya mathematics student because ni mam mathematics no de business okay no la ni mam mathematics no de banko sambono la dunya fankata mathematics la if you don't imam mathematics no de balu fa ko la le bulle yes so haramu fay mas le no oto Adam Barrow ni masakunda katanya de so that mean that indicates kon ko atali akabun ko atali mam mathematics alman fendo karanjal man fendo lonje yes because boro na nyanda tele boro me exam faka pandi ko fempente boro la al kanal ko jid man na di nul block no ko kilo bete di nul la sumna tanda pam di nul ma sunda ke sumna di ni memba bakan abe sumna la tele ko sinya tanne dudu abe jembo kula fay bata kabire nyim boro di wala do nyim bor joli timbo di nul da ko dron di nul ko kilo balanta sumna ta kela di nul jagalda balobe kandila di bor kese diala ala le tano do di nul man kayro jeno ka di nul karfula karsaba ka fara ibu ka kus jeno a tunda ni nyamala sayala fali amaro ko bot la tanne banko dingul le Dr. Samata Sindi banko dingul le Adam Barrow Sindi PPP power belongs to people ni meyo ko soso alama karale ka jibe iban nako jamale kuno foto ni jama ko iman sula la dinkira do mi an ko kul men ka banyam al kuma kendo fo ni ko lawla jiji ite leki je ni ke man sula ji ko kanan kele kana ka kele da kana ka son ka refon nyim banko nyim manke NPP da man da manke UDP la gambe ding bel tam ando nim mem fa ko rosi ke ngi lanto sante amanto mel lonta wala mu kombo dambanti wala nak tuwa kuna dambanti wala yirika ro fu da dami yirika kontrol ta dami sali nga muru bakto na bolon kono ba na bolon kono nyaayiri kam mo golle siyo koron taw mo golle fato ni boro mo golle faaw bolon kono je munana nga jefo ko nganda ko bolon kono dallu je wo jamfata baake basilale mo do ko embura bolon kono abu jamfari bolon la abu jamfari basila baake de wol men ko bonam fal sare to la su sare to la ka fadna kana fu basi fu how many minutes wala how many hours wol dengulu dum kaado nyim boro janjantale wol dengulu dum kaado nyim boro ajanjantale mo golle faro blar wala kan ni mol ko mo tan say mo taworo ni woro mo tan woro ni kononto de ngalon ne ko ngo nyin tamida har mo kemo la de ale melu la ko la fo bar nyaabe yirka ya jibe prin karton fo koyna ka do wulol kono comme ko amar jide ka même fo tawe politiko tawmenna kare la wulo kono sare baraba sare fulaba sare dibide ka basol fedi ke la jimbal ko do ka nyin sol bidika ko rol bidiki o dum e banko no ma nyi na wala kan ka fale ko amar jide diaw nani kunun diaw fara batale ale ga menon lahiri min nal man tamma wala aji so o ke nyofa na jibe wulol ben ko na kati la nyamo ko do village ben kata nyamo ko jana akati la damento wala village ben no ko bi jam farin baake tawno ko la akati la dalmento muna nalol be check on be gambe bankunga alol be check bu ko sol be dinu ko sasale be ngal ko dina mun sasalam fu janna fanno anda ta fu len jande kandimi wolu dum wolu le al yalo mo jolle fanay diwul sare wol to bam insha Allah kis adam baro ni mbeli batun lumbe sile be ko ndibola ni belal andun sibota adam baro irta be tamle adam belal ya fe ndabi jine ko to rajine fem masi jine ko to rajine fala ni mol bi wolu dum fendi bi banku nga han kabi aya jeme la ni mol wala asini blatu on de ya jeme teten nala ko mon diame nala ko mon diame moli ya jeme ti akiten fa ke mo falati dan nyakoro ya jeme na mamota ka mo so muro la soka si lappi beren ko mo le babu o mo kilun fana wolle be dinalo fakam karon docteur sama tay boro ta ko boro tan tan din tala yim boro dunya sankulo ko da monta dawdandi fo Gambia malum faaji be le se chip rice sanna bawo Gambia kara chip rice la yo ku kilim bije mbo falam wontar na video ko no o wi banam sori men ketan na Libya banko na Libya molbe sabata de Libya ye ko be kata pour que saynan iman nano na government ye ko be kata le pour nana iman nano itara embassy yale ye atodo itara atodo sori yiro atodo United Nation kanne wol ko ni o da Gambia bul dron itara han sama si sambale bari ngan ko ngamen fo fon ninko ngay ko ital sendi la de ko teji ba lodi si mo bondi tubaw du yol sendi isi mo amul bondi fu jamani yol sendi bar mo bendi be Libya al man dalo kamala je ke sendi mo be Libya al nyabo lay be wo shi kanje ba o fent haleji jaman dum anul senta ko dolla anole ko dollandi walakin na jersa jamanu le ko hade mo be kala pleno kono ka sendi wala min di yalla bar ngin dol fendi bu batari jang al tan no mal yol sendi bar ngin dol al tan no mal yol sendi ngal nya jankoje bar almani be don kolal kunga kila war moto yes dana almani masi wo beka alma be don kolal kunga moy batan ko la be tak ra futu babu do frendi wala Libya jang aliye bam ibe kolani bata kono je ibe batani toro kono je bar gamme non ye bam pour ka tawul kama barashita fu jaman ay tamul ko yali kama you see this story is very clear alla mon be woshi ka tita kama barashiti kama futu babu itama mo min tawa do kalma imam bataw kama bi man dawa do kama sama bari sita pleno ko itaw kama no je ayu sayni ni dambe Libya ko alafta len sayni aliye permission bi dala bi non sama ali taw kama de bari ni dol al kamu def ko ha fundul la ko taje al daron min kama jaman fatal ko fa taje alma abdum kala kun kan kila ko mari wala hino bali anala bambam ka wirkiti ka bambam ka toma mbadimlu anal badi malam Mr. Tenkobo aka the only romantic man in my village, the biggest village in the Gambia. Please search
Nyama bama kinimondo bang kontata la fonsi kar fol balunde. Nyama bama kinimondo bang kontata la fonsi kar fol balunde. Ala tuje fonsi kar fol balunde. No alin tuje fonsi kar fol balunde. Ala tuje fonsi kar fol balunde. Alin